Hello, friends. I'm not in my car today, and the reason for that is actually kind of simple. I'm at home waiting for a service guy to fix my dryer. Now, to make a very long story short, let's see if I can try to condense this for you. In December, I bought a dryer, and it's a piece of shit. It sounds like someone threw in a bag of live cats, which I have described before, and it makes a horrendous, colossal noise. So I called the place I bought it for. I don't want to say the name, but it rhymes with Schmanny's. Anyway, Schmanny's sent a guy to look at the dryer to find out what's going on with this noise. And what he figured out was it's busted. Brand new dryer. And it needs parts. Now, I'm stupid, quite frankly, because an intelligent man would say, well, get this piece of shit out of my house and get me a new one. And I chose to be a nice guy and said, let's see if we can fix it. If you're providing the parts, let's see what we can do. So I make an appointment for the guy to bring the parts, and he's supposed to be there last Thursday, and he did not show up. So I call Schmanny's and I say, excuse me, but what the fuck? They tell me that the guy tried calling my cell phone at 8:30 in the morning while I was working, and could not leave a voicemail message because apparently my mailbox was full. But he was not scheduled to arrive until 12:30. But by 3:30, he had not called a second time to say, I failed to leave a message before, but I'm not coming. So I called them and said, what the fuck? And they said, well, we can't, you didn't clear out your voicemail messages. And I'm like, okay, fine. So when is the guy coming? And they said he would come today. So I get a phone call this morning at 8:30 in the morning, and I'm working, and they leave a voicemail message and said, your parts are here, and we'd like to call and schedule an appointment. Now, I'm thinking in my head, isn't that appointment already scheduled for today? So I call, and I get this message. I call at 9 o'clock, and I get this message that says, we are currently closed. Please call during our regular business hours, which begin at 8:30. That was a half hour before I called. So I continued to call for the next 45 minutes or so-ish, and continue to get this message. Finally, I get into their Fort Knox type of security system and talk to a real live person. And they said, oh, no, we don't have you scheduled for today at all, but let me see what I can do. So they see what they can do, and they call me back, and they say, we'll have our guy come today, and he'll call you when he's on his way, which is not very specific, frankly. So I immediately rush home because I don't know when this guy's coming. It could happen at any time, and I think I don't have the listen. I got underpants that need to be washed and laundered and dried properly because I'm very tender, and so I go home and I wait around, and it's in the afternoon now, and I'm thinking, well, maybe I should call them and see when I might expect my phone call from the guy who is arriving. So I call them again. I call Schmanny's again, and I say, hello, it's me, Bax from Rock 102. And I would like to know when this guy is coming to my house. And I'm talking to this other guy that I hadn't spoken to, and he's fiddling through his paperwork and said, well, I don't have you down here, but let me put you on hold and see what I can do. So I'm put on hold, and the guy comes back and says, well, As it turns out, that service guy is in Hamden today, and you'll be the last person of the day. He'll be there somewhere between 1 and 5. And I said, listen, I don't have all day to wait around, and quite frankly, I feel like you're giving me, I feel like I'm being jacked here. So if we can't get this done today, then why don't you get this thing out of my fucking house? He said, well, hold on a second, let me see what I can do. So I'm on hold again, and I'm waiting around, and finally he gets back in the line and says, well, okay, well, you won't be the last one today. I don't know exactly what time, but our guy will call you before he arrives to let you know. But you won't be the last one today. We've moved you up in the order. Now, I don't know if he moved me up because I happen to work here, but I'm still waiting like a dope, thinking, am I going to get this guy over here today? Because if not, I have some recourse here. I could leave very hostile Yelp reviews. I could call the Better Business Bureau. I could call my credit card company and say, hey, I think this may violate the Massachusetts lemon law, which says that if I purchase a piece of shit, the person who sold it to me, has to take it back for a full refund. I could do that. Or I could do the more damaging option and use my position in society to alert everybody that Schmanny's is jacking a beloved radio talk show host about a dryer that does not operate in a quiet fashion. I don't want to have to go and say, excuse me, do you know who I am? I don't feel comfortable doing that most of the time. In fact, 99.99% of the time, I never bring that out. I never do it. I'm not the kind of guy who says, I'm really quite an important person here. I'm really quite a deal. I don't normally do that, except when I find that all other options have been exhausted. So I'm waiting for the guy, and if the guy doesn't show up, what can I say? Is it a threat? No. 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 No threats. No threats. Just merely saying